Using global tel link.
What's good, homie?
What's up with it?
I can't call it, man. Hanging in there, man. Shoot, that last little project we did, bro. I've been getting hella views on that.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
I wish we had a 15-minute call, man.
Bro, I ain't tripping, man. Like you told me, man. I can't focus on all the wasted time, man. Like, you know what I mean? When y'all had them jacks left and right, I could have been doing this then too, but you know what I mean? I ain't tripping on the past.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what's up, though.
For sure, man. For sure. Welcome back to another exclusive edition of More to Live For. That was the voice of the homie right there that you heard, man. I got some new updates on the homie, man. So, you know what I mean? I decided to put this project together for all my returning viewers. You know what I mean? Y'all definitely familiar with this whole journey of Rashad White. Definitely free the homie Rashad White. But to my new subscribers, man, you might not be too familiar with it, and you know what I mean? You probably seen me do projects here and there, but you might not have the whole story. So I'm gonna break that down for you, and for my, like I said, for my returning viewers, man, that's already familiar with this. I'm gonna add a little more info to some things that you might not did know about the whole journey. So free Rashad White, man. The whole story, 16 years and counting. 16 of them things and counting. Full story. Let's get it. It's definitely free to home Rashad, man. You already know. It's been a long journey, man. It's definitely been that. It's been a long journey. So, you know what I mean? We can get right to it. Yeah, we're getting right to it, man. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Shout out to my returning viewers, man. More to live for, the voice of the North, man. You already know. Free to homeboy Rashad, man. Definitely, man. Got a good phone call from him. You know what I mean? Found out some new things that he got going on, man. So, but before I get to the new, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of the old, man. Especially to, like I said, for all my new subscribers that might not be too familiar with the journey, man. So I'm gonna try my best to you know what I mean, to break it down for you so you can see where we at now. You know what I mean? It's so significant, man. Such a big move. So check it out, man. So like 2008, man, my homeboy got convicted of like 16, 17 armed robbery charges or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he been down since 2008. It's 2024 now, so that's 16 of them things. But I ain't gonna go into too many details about you know what I mean, the crime and the whole court proceedings and stuff like that. But I mean, it is documented that, you know what I mean, several co-defendants went state on them. Some, you know what I mean, try to be a star witness, and you know what I mean, by the end of the day, his crimes went state on them. So that led him, you know what I mean, to get the time that he got. Like I said, he got 25 of them things. So it's 2008. So from my understanding, like when North Carolina, you know what I mean, doing they once you get time in North Carolina, like you go into some type of prison that's like a processing joint or whatever. Like there's different names in different states, but basically like it's a prison that you go into that's gonna You know what I mean? Based on it's gonna get you ready for the real prison that you go to. This like an assessment. You know what I mean? So what he went at was Central Prison. You know what I mean? Out there in Raleigh, whatever. So normally, like people with you know what I mean, them type of bids, man, like double digits, like that. That's where they going there to get processed and the whole nine. So like he stayed up there for not too sure. I want to say probably 1 month. No, it was a little more than a month, maybe like 2.5 or something like that before he was sent to Tabor or whatever, Tabor City Correction or whatever. And while he was there, you know what I mean, like that's when he you know what I mean, like he basically, you know what I mean, learning the penitentiary lifestyle, you know what I mean, because like from a processing joint to you know what I mean, like I said, he went there for them to figure out, you know what I mean, the type of prisons they were gonna send him to. So he went to Tabor City, and that's you know what I mean, all prisons are tough from my understanding. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing really easy about it compared to somebody that ain't never been. So I can't say you know what I mean, what prisons are easier than others. The only thing I can do is relay the information that the homeboy give me about his experience. Like I said, this his experience. Whatever. Free the homeboy Rashad White. We already know what it is. But he doing this thing, you know what I mean, in Tabor City, you know, like as far as like penitentiary things, learning his way, you know what I mean, maneuvering through the system, whatever. Like he was there probably, I want to say, I don't know the exact time, but less than 5 years he was there or whatever. But by this time, you know what I mean, he already, you know, done been in, you know what I mean, any type of incidents that any stand-up convict would be in, as far as like this far in on a sentence that long. What I mean, like things like, you know what I mean, going to war administration, you know what I mean, assaulting assaulting another inmate with weapons, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Typical convict behavior, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, reason why I say convict is because him and others definitely told me that it's a difference between convict and inmate or whatever. So, but moving along with the journey, like I said, man, I ain't trying to, you know, steamroll over none of it, but you know what I mean, I got viewers that's already familiar with it, and I'm just going back, you know what I mean, ironing out some wrinkles for the people that's familiar with it, but the ones who ain't, I'm, you know what I mean, catching y'all up to speed. So from Tabor or whatever, like he ended up going to Maury. And like I said, by this time he already done been in, you know what I mean, he done seen all type of penitentiary shit and done participated in all type of penitentiary activities. Nothing crazy for, you know what I mean, the people might, you know what I mean, thinking some weird shit. Definitely not like that. The home definitely stand up dude though. So after leaving Tabor, man, he went to you know what I mean, Maury Correction or whatever. Like that's the prison that's, you know what I mean, on this shirt that I got, the prison that's behind him or whatever. And from my understanding and from what other people say, man, like that's one of North Carolina's like top prisons as far as like the violence and the extortion and, you know what I mean, racketeering and shit like that. And he definitely got his name there because like he was all in. By this time he already, you know what I mean, he already involved in, you know what I mean, gangs and whatever. Like it's all documented, so I ain't sharing nothing that ain't already public knowledge or whatever. So he hit Maury or whatever, and like shit, he stayed in Maury for like 10 years or whatever. Like keep it all the way real. But during this time, man, like I said, man, like that's when he was like really, really like on some hardcore penitentiary type shit, like with the violence that he's not only seeing, but the violence that he participating in, like getting assaulted by guards in the middle of the night type shit like that, whatever. And like I said, man, for the people who've been watching those poems or whatever, all them poems came while he was at Maury in the hole, either from stabbing somebody or either from participating in a riot or, you know what I mean, going to war with police and shit like that. So he wide, you know what I mean? Like it ain't no secret. He wide open and Maury or whatever. But like I said, this is a whole 10-year period, man, that I'm trying not necessarily to steamroll through, but like I said, I'm catching people up to speed. He gonna be here to kind of, you know what I mean, tell the whole journey about all that crazy shit that was happening more, like guards having sex with inmates, guards bringing drugs in, shit like that. Like he gonna tell the whole spiel about that. I'm gonna let him do that. But he got firsthand knowledge of that, so it is what it is on that note. But somewhere around like I think when COVID started, that's when he got transferred to like it won't I forgot. I think he went to Hyde County, like down there in Pasquotank, whatever. But from there, like him like somehow staying out of trouble, whatever, like his points was starting to drop. So he won't in medium custody yet. He was still in closed custody. And for those that ain't familiar with the way North Carolina you know what I mean, penitentiary system is like it's like Peter Pablo in the song said, man, brown over there, green over there, like brown, like khaki colors or whatever, like that's closed custody. That's high level inmates. Like if you see on the shirt or whatever, like you can tell the homie got on some like khakis type of level. And that prison, like I said, is a closed custody prison. So we talking like multiple lockdowns, riots type shit. But unlike other prisons, from my understanding, North Carolina closed custody prisons, all of them single man cells. So one of my guests did explain it as like it's like having your own apartment, but you in a fucked up neighborhood. Like that's the way he explained it. And that shit hit kind of, you know what I mean? I understood that shit the way he said it, but he ended up going to a prison that's like lower security, whatever. So he going to more so like some dormitory type settings or whatever. So like during that time, that's when he you know what I mean, I was able to get these pictures or whatever. But like he still had the same, you know what I mean, classification or whatever. Like he still was brown level, but it was like the Bible said, it was brown over there and green over there. You know what I mean? So he was around both or whatever. So that was like a almost like a culture shock, almost. You know what I mean? Like somebody that's been doing their time for by this time, man, the homie like 11, 12 years in. So like, you know what I mean? Him doing the time a certain way and then, you know, being around, you know what I mean, people that's been doing their time a certain way. It's almost like a clash, man. So like the homie was having a hard time, like I ain't gonna say fitting in over there, but a hard time like to adjusting to like the way they ran things, like as far as like how the inmates, the convicts were doing things and like how the guards were doing things. Like it was just different from the way he was used to doing things. But it was something that went down, man, that the homie like they charged him with like inciting a riot type shit or whatever. And like after that, man, like that shit was like man, it was tough after that because like from there they sent him to the mountains, man, the North Carolina prison system, whatever. Like half the like it's a big part of this, like this state got 100 counties, man. So you can imagine how many prisons, but people that's on from this side of the state, man, like just think they going on a 10, 11 hour bus drive and they still in the same damn state, but like they in the mountains, whatever. And like some of these mountains, like they don't see people that look like us. Like the only time they see people that look like us is when they at work and they working at a prison. So, you know what I mean? You can kind of, you know what I mean, put two and two together and you know what I mean, figure out what type of time they on. But when he was up there, man, like, you know what I mean, from my understanding, man, like that's when like you're really going through like that depression type shit, like just feeling hopeless, man. Like, but you know what I mean? Like Nipsey said, man, like you gotta have hope with a hopeless at. You know what I mean? Something like that won't mess it up. But like I definitely understood that. But you know what I mean? He was going through a lot of things up there, whatever in the mountains, man. And fortunately, he took advantage of being up there in that I ain't gonna say that environment, but in that region, because while he was there on that side of the state, he went to Foothills. And Foothills is an old like youth facility, like like Pope or whatever, and like from my understanding now, like it's a prison that offers like for long level like inmates that's getting a class or whatever that's trying to like it's a program called the SRTG program or whatever. And like while he was there, he was able to get being on that, like I said, being on that side of the state, man, he was able to take advantage of that and get to that particular program or whatever. And we'll get to that prison first. And I actually called up there to kind of help them, but everything else on him, like being able to go there and then like actually making it happen, whatever. So like that's definitely something, that nobody don't, what I mean, take for granted, whatever. So like just knowing that being on that side of the state, going through everything he done been through in prison so far, and then to still get something accomplished and starting to see, a little light at the end of the tunnel, man. Like starting to see that because like that shit ain't been easy, man. And the stuff that he been going through, man, it ain't been easy. Ain't nothing easy about doing 16 years straight, you know what I mean? And knowing that the people who help you get all this time, they done been home violated again. But when the homie first got his greens, man, like after graduating that program, he went down to medium custody prison, Catawba or something like. I'm messing it up, but it's one of those. But it ain't in the mountains though. But it still ain't close around here. But since then, he, like I said, he's staying out of trouble and he's starting to get these, you know what I mean? These active, he got accomplishments. To sum it up for the word I'm looking for, I can't find the word I'm looking for, but he got accomplishment under his belt now. As far as this program, he got another computer class under his belt, GED, of course, and he's actually now like by doing all of that and passing this program, like not only did his custody drop, but his whole classification dropped. So that led him to do other things like actually like be on the work crew or whatever. He was he was telling me the experience of that of being on that work crew, man, just how happy he was to like actually be on the streets, even though he was picking up trash on the street, but just how happy he was to like be on the streets, man. That meant, I could tell that meant a lot to him. But since then, like he's actually like got a whole job now. Like he ain't just picking up trash or whatever. So like he definitely on the right track because he got somewhere that he's leaving prison 8-10 hours a day and going to work. You feel what I'm saying? So like I think that's a good way for him to, to get back into society. I think that's a good reintroduction to society for him. So already having that familiar feel with getting up and going to work every day, and then the main thing, not having to look for work every day. So I definitely think that's a good look. So definitely shout out to the homie, free the homie. You know what I mean? Everything he done accomplished, man, because it ain't none of it been easy. You know what I mean? Like the real ones know who've been rocking with him and been rocking with me the whole time. And you know what I mean? That's definitely something that goes to that shit don't go on, you know what I mean? It don't go unnoticed, man. Like people that's been all in different states screaming free Rashad White, asking about updates, stuff like that, man. So I just want to put this together, man, for the people who didn't know where he stood at right now, the people who didn't know the whole story, and for you know what I mean, my returning viewers, my returning subscribers, man, I definitely had to give you an up-to-date story and some up-to-date pictures of the homie. My homie look like himself right there. Shout out to his mom, his niece, and his grandma. And I'm trying to get his grandma on this channel real soon, man, because that's a funny lady, man. I'm trying to tell you. But definitely, man, shout out to everybody, man, that's been helping me, man, throughout this journey. You already know what it is, man. The voice of the North, doing it for the North, man. You already know, man. it's been a good journey with this, man. And pretty soon I'm gonna be in a position that I'm gonna have him up here. He gonna tell some of these stories himself, man. And then that's when everything gonna come together. You gonna see why certain things that I don't speak on that I'm gonna let him speak on. So that's how we're gonna do it, man. Definitely free the homie Rashad White, man. Proud of you, homie. Like I told you earlier, like I tell you every time I talk to you, dog. This shit almost over with, man. And I'll see you soon on this side. Why settle for less? My last name more.